with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up, weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Not going to be here for a very long show, but we're here for a very quick one because I got things to do this evening. But this is a crazy update. This is a crazy breaking news that I want to give you guys really quick. This is absolutely knuckin' futz. I cannot believe this ish. Okay, I am shocked. I am shooketh. I'm surprised. You know what? It has everything to do with the timeline. Okay, let me just keep it a bean with y'all. It has everything to do with this timeline. I'll explain here in a little bit, but I am absolutely shooketh. I'm absolutely surprised right now. So we're here to give you guys that information, this quick, not super long. How's that? Update. Breaking news. Breaking news. This is absolutely crazy. So do me a favor before we get into everything. Please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, crush it, do it to do, hit that reaction button, please and thank you. All right? Make sure you hit that follow button if you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick. Make sure you're following on those platforms. Also, hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. All right? Right here. Main channel right here. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips, and my third channel, Pascal Raw. Subscribe over there. Hit that notification bell on all these platforms so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload. Because honestly, it's random. A lot of it's breaking news like this right here. This is breaking mother-loving news. So make sure you are fully subscribed and have that notification bell set to all. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay? We got some breaking news for y'all right up in your ears. This is absolutely insane, guys. And I'm telling you right now, the reason why I'm shocked is just the timeline of everything. The breadcrumbs leading up to this ultimate moment. The moment that I don't think any of us were expecting. In fact, I expected the opposite from the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene. But if you guys don't know about her, she's a representative, Republican. She is a hardcore, or at least was, a hardcore MAGA supporter. All right. She was basically Trump's hype man. Real talk. She's out there pumping the fist, wearing the MAGA hats, all that stuff. She was MAGA through and through till she died. Okay. MAGA for life. And then all of a sudden, the Epstein files became a thing. The Epstein files became quite a problem and caused quite a rift between Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And actually, Marjorie Taylor Greene's allegiance to the MAGA movement. Now, we've been seeing her out here championing for those survivors out here. Begging and demanding, just like all these other survivors, demanding transparency, demanding that those Epstein files be released. And because of that, that caused that was the start of the rift between Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, or Marjorie Taylor Greene and MAGA. That's kind of the start of it all. And then there was a bunch of other things that have happened as of late. All right. Given the fact that she feels that Trump isn't as America first as he claims to be. She's like, you're overseas dealing with all this other BS going on over here, but you're not paying attention to things going on over here at all. We got a government shutdown. We got premiums in health insurance about to go sky high. Things like that she just did not stand for, all right? She wasn't standing for those things. At least that's what she was saying out here in these streets, okay? Government shutdown made her step away even more. Then Trump put in his 2 cents about how, he's like, I don't really know what she's on right now, blah, blah, blah. This is what he was saying in the very beginning, okay? But then recently, he went out and disavowed her like she was Ethan Hawke or Ethan Hunt. I'm sorry, Ethan Hunt in every single Mission Impossible movie. Okay. He basically disavowed her from the MAGA movement. He said, "You ain't MAGA enough. Bye-bye. See you later. You gotta be gone." Okay. And she said, "Okay, fine. I'm America first." Now, what's interesting about this, okay? All right. Oh, that is also the other part too. Okay, Sunshine. We're gonna get to that. Don't worry. She said that much later. I'm talking about the timeline here. All right. Sunshine trying to get straight. She's trying to give us the spoilers before we even get through the first act of the movie, right? It's all good. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Okay. I'm just playing. All right. But here it is. Okay. So then he disavows her and she's like, "Okay, F you. Because I'm America first and you clearly are not. You're busy doing, ending wars overseas, but all this other crap is going on over here in America, and you're not even paying attention to the problems that we have in America. We have government shutdown, people are starving, you're cutting off certain benefits from people." She was not cool with a lot of these things. One of the main things was healthcare premiums going sky high. She wasn't cool with that. And there was a bunch of other Republicans that weren't cool with that as well. Or not a bunch, but a couple, okay? But this whole standoff between Democrats and Republicans was going down. He disavowed her. Then, finally, there was another press conference. Survivors step forward. They go in. Basically saying, "Hey, get this stuff out here. Release the files." Of course, they finally do release the files. But during this specific time, yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene did have the balls to say out loud that Trump was a traitor. A traitor to the own US of A. She said that out loud. Now, before she actually said all that, and before they voted unanimously, okay? Before they voted unanimously to release the files, which we'll see what happens in the next 30 days, which it'll be all nothing but redactions, I'm sure, and names will be ripped out of there. But anyway, nonetheless, Marjorie Taylor Greene and Trump have not been getting along. Okay, this is uncalled for. This is unprecedented. The rift that's going on. There was also something that Trump put out there, basically saying she wanted to run for a higher slot, for a higher ranking than just being a representative. And apparently Trump turned to her and said, "Your polls are terrible. Your polls are low. There is no way you'd be able to run for senator or governor or anything higher than representative." And apparently this is what they say. This got in her feelings and she said, "Oh, F you, Trump." And then she went all out of her way to go against Trump full tilt. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, because she has gone out of her way to basically say that those rumors are not true. We've heard from the likes of Trump himself and AOC saying the same thing. Now, it's not every day that you hear Trump echo something that a Democrat has said. But it does make sense if it would work in his favor, right? For him to say something like that, right? But nonetheless, very interesting timeline that we've seen so far, okay? And now we're at this moment that I don't think this was definitely not on my bingo card today. Okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene says she will resign in January. After this whole fallout with Trump, she is done, everybody. She is resigning. Yeah, I am absolutely shooketh. You want to know why? You want to know why I'm shocked? You want to know why I'm absolutely shocked? The reason why I'm shocked is because the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG, I figured that she had bigger cojones than this, cabron. Am I the only one who thought that she was going to stand her ground a little bit longer? What made her say, I'm done? Now, I know Classic just said, not entirely done, Pascal. Well, she's resigning. So that, to me, sounds like she out. Now, here's the thing. She could be resigning to step back, go into her cave, lick her wounds, and come back guns a-blazing, right? Guns a-blazing, politically speaking, right? Politically speaking, all right? To run for a bigger spot, right? But what would make her all of a sudden out of nowhere say, I'm out, I'm done. Deuces. Me done, me gone. What makes her... I thought that she would stand her ground a little bit stronger, a little bit longer than this. She has no problem going into the house and going, boo, and doing all this hugely bombastic stuff, like outrageous stuff, right? All in the name of MAGA back in the day. And now, to think that she hasn't already had enough threats already, she bows down. Or bows out. Not bows down, but bows out. Now, that's the one thing, just me. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe she seen something. Maybe she seen something. You know what I mean? She seen it. Like, damn, right? Maybe she saw something. Maybe she didn't. Nonetheless, shocking information. Because like I said, one thing is for sure about Marjorie Taylor Greene. From the vibes I've gotten from her, very strong-willed woman. Very strong-willed politician. I will say that. I may not agree with the things that she has said, except for like the Epstein stuff and the healthcare prices going skyrocket through the roof kind of thing. Those are the only few things that I've actually agreed with her about. Okay. Other things like Jewish lasers and all that stuff, that's off. That's in another planet, in my personal opinion. But one thing I will say about her is that she's pretty strong-willed. At least that's what she gave off the vibe back then. Now she out, and I'm wanting to know why. This is very interesting. And here's the other thing too. Just because she says she resigns doesn't automatically mean she doesn't have an ace up her sleeve. I just want to say that, like I said, maybe she's resigning so that she can come back in full force even harder in the next year, in 2026. Or some people are thinking that maybe she's going to join allegiance with Nick Fuentes. That she's going to join forces with Nick Fuentes and start a whole America First movement. I hope to God that's not the truth. Not him. Of all people, not him. Okay? Good God, not him. But we'll see. Let's check out this article here. So, of course, this is breaking news. Republican representative, MTG of Georgia, announced Friday night that she will resign her seat in the House of Representatives with her last day in office being January 5th of this coming year. So, Greene's announcement in the video, which we're going to see here in just a little bit. Okay, she posted on X, followed a dramatic break with President Trump, which she cited as playing a role in her decision to leave Congress in the middle of her third term. So Greene, 51, had been a leading supporter of Trump. Yeah, his hype man, his mother-loving hype man, okay? She was, like I said, she was MAGA for life MAGA for life, okay? Prominent figure in his MAGA movement, okay? While sparking controversy for promoting conspiracy theories and using extreme rhetoric. Yeah, she's been pretty crazy. We can all agree on that. But she recently faced harsh criticism from Trump for backing a bill to compel the DOJ to release investigative files about Jeffrey Epstein, which we already know about that. Now, what's interesting about this, okay, which we are going to be taking a look at this thing here, this video. What I think is very interesting is there was quite a rift between her and Trump solely because she wanted these Epstein files released. And this is just a question, okay? We're just in the age of speculation here for a second, okay? Could it be that she figured out that politics is corrupt? That this was the straw that broke the camel's back? And she's like, F this, I'll just go back to being I don't know what she had as a job before being a representative. But maybe she in her mind, she's like, I have now seen how disturbingly corrupt politics really are and how potentially corrupt that Trump really is. Which, by the way, if you're on the side of thinking that MAGA or Trump in general, the Trump administration is corrupt, even in the first term, and if they were doing things in plain sight that were corrupt in plain sight, and there were other people that were just sycophantic yes people around the likes of Trump and the higher ups that worked closely with Trump in the first and in this new term, wouldn't they already know how corrupt and disgusting it is? Did it take 2 terms for her to suddenly realize, oh my gosh, politicians are snakes? You know what I'm saying? Think about that for a second. And I'm not talking about, let me be real. I'm not just talking about just MAGA or just the Trump administration. They're all corrupt, okay? They're all disgusting. They're all snakes. They're all lying to us, okay? They're all sitting there telling us what they're doing with the left hand and trying to say, don't look at what the right hand is doing. Look at this left hand. Hi. All the good things are over here. All the bad corruption and embezzlement and the this, that, and the third is going on with my right. But I'm really good at being the snake oil salesman with my rhetoric. So I'm going to keep just gesticulating with my left while I'm counting money that I'm embezzling and all that with my right. You don't see that. You just see all this and the flowery rhetoric that's coming out my gob. Right? Don't they already know that at this point? The likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene, who worked very closely with Trump. Let's be real. Things that have come out of her mouth has been very, very racist, anti-Semitic remarks. Okay? Coming out of her face. Before she even said, yes, we need to release the files. Before she said any of that stuff. Talking about Jewish lasers and how the Jews control. I ain't got time, okay, to even repeat the crap that's come out of her mouth. But let's be real. Those things have come out of her mouth. Have they not? Okay? So I'm wondering, did she suddenly just got hit with a reality stick across the face? And she's like, oh, whoa, I'm back in reality. Everything's so corrupt. Or is there something else bigger going on here? I got to ask those questions. But let's hear what she got to say. She even wrote like a 4-page statement that we're going to look through as well. We're going to take a look at that in a second. But let's hear what she got to say. This is almost 11 minutes long. Okay? This is going to be interesting.
I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and just never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher. Corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline.
Hold on. Let me just, can I just point something out? I know we're only like a minute in. Don't worry. I'm going to let this thing cook. But is she suddenly becoming woke? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Calm down. I know some of y'all will be like, rah, she's getting woke. But if you really think about it, think about all the stuff that she's saying right here. And she's basically saying, like, I'm out here trying to do the Lord's work, and it just not a damn thing changes. But the Sisyphus story? Sisyphus, the story of Sisyphus. Do you know that Greek story of Sisyphus? He keeps on trying to push this rock up a hill, and then every time it would roll back down the hill, it would get bigger and heavier, and he would have to do this for eternity, trying to push this rock or this boulder up a hill, and it just never changes. It just gets heavier and more difficult to push it up the hill. Because that's kind of what it feels like, a little bit like when it comes to politics. As much as because let's be real, think about this for a second. Don't worry, I'm going to get back to this, I promise. Just let me cook for 2 seconds. If you really think about it, all these politicians say the same crap. This is the reason why I'm like, meh. Whoever's in office is going to be a butthole anyway. It doesn't matter if it's Trump, if it's Biden, if it's Obama, if it's Clinton, okay, if it's Reagan, if it's it doesn't matter. Carter, I don't give a damn. Okay, at the end of the day, all right, these politicians will sit there and say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, it's going to be huge changes, or, oh, changes are coming, you know? Or, come on, we'll make changes. Stuff like that, right? Fool me once, shame on you. If I get fooled, I can't get fooled again, right? We hear this all the time. Gesticulating passionately, telling us with the finger thing, with the thumb thing. You know what I mean? No new taxes. Next thing you know, new taxes. I'm going to make sure that your kids get, better opportunities in school. But then but nothing changes, right? We hear this crap all the time. So could it be that she's just tired? She's just like, I's tired, Harpo. Harpo, I's tired. Is that maybe what she's saying here? She's tired of running uphill? Isn't that a song? Ain't that a 90s or 80s song? Tired of running uphill? Could it be that she's just tired? And she's like, you know what? It's the same crap. It's the same BS. You go to these inaugural bowls, right? Everyone's drinking colors, talking trash, right? Drinking colors out of beautiful stemware, talking a whole bunch of BS, saying that they're going to make changes, but they never change. And then the next 4 years, a new person with a really great smile. I don't know about Trump's, but, or Biden's, but, you got that politician-y smile with their veneers beautifully whitened, telling us again, gesticulating passionately again to the teleprompters, how they're going to make things change. And does anything really change? No. So again, I'm kind of curious about this. Is this what it is? She's just tired of the BS. She's tired of the corruption. She's tired of she's tired of politicking. White girl politicking. She tired of it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Let's find out.
The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream. And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception, and I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders, I have fought hard for that. I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time. And we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass the plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas, just sit. They all sit collecting dust. That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media, obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points. Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big 6-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love because that is who all of my family and friends are, common Americans.
Okay, hold up. I'm sorry. Hamburger. Let me just say something really quick. Damn. I think she got woke. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But seriously, it does kind of sound like, yeah, a little bit like that. Kind of. She's like, oh my gosh, the people that I care for, sure they voted MAGA, sure they voted Trump, but they're just as screwed as every other liberal out here too. We're all in it together. We're all in this mucky muck together. Surprise, surprise. Like, how does that suddenly... You are an elected official. Here's the thing. Let me be nice to her for a second, okay? Let me be nice to her for a second. It's nice to see that she's starting to realize that now. But how long has she been in office, though? How long she been in office? Here's the other thing too. Instantly, I look at this and I'm like, because there's a part of me that's like, okay, good on you, girl. Okay. Good on you for realizing that all of us are in this ish together. It's not just red versus blue. It's not just the red is eating good and the blue is just out here just eating scraps. We're all eating scraps together. Doesn't matter if you voted MAGA or if you voted not MAGA. We're all in this burning barrel of cat piss together. It's nice to see that. But there's still another part of me that wonders what's going on here. Because I feel like there's something going on. Like, I've already talked to you guys about this before, okay? And listen, I'm not like some huge political pundit individual. I'm not sitting here running around doing all these political shows and videos talking about like Trump did it again, everybody, you know, and pulling out, you know, political rhetoric in every single video and every single show. Okay, I don't do that. All right. I talk about things that are going on in the world because I give a damn and I put in my 2 cents how I see fit and how I feel. I am not some vetted, tailored up, ready for camera on CNN or Fox News, you know, doing those talking points like some of these guys are. Okay. Some of these guys are trained for that. They're good at it. Let them do their thing. I'm just me. Okay. But even this, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I can tell something's going on. That there's something bigger than just her stepping away and resigning from her position. That there is, and I can see, and I can smell it in the air, and I can taste it in the water. Something is changing. And yes, I know, I'm not the go-to guy, okay? I'm not the person that you go to. I'm sure you're listening to the likes of Ben Shapiro or Kyle Kaprinski, or you're watching The Hill, or you're watching CNN or Fox News or MSNBC. I guess they're now called MS Now, okay? Or any of whatever media outlet that you watch, and they're all, you know, nicely put together. They're reading the teleprompter. They're telling you stuff, right? That's fine. But even I can tell that something's happening here. That this rift is real. And that MAGA is dead. Yes, I said it. MAGA is dead. MAGA is on its way out. All because of everything that's happened here. From the Epstein files to this government shutdown to the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. All 3 things. And now you got a more extreme version, okay? Now you have a more extreme version and a more extreme voice coming out of the ashes, I hate to say that, but the ashes of Charlie Kirk. And it's not a good rises the phoenix. No, this is not a good phoenix. It's a worse version of MAGA. It's a more extreme version of MAGA. And who's the voice of that? I'll finish it for you. Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is terrible. I said it. I don't give a damn. That is a dangerous voice for the young and impressionable individuals that are out here trying to find the next Charlie Kirk. And they're listening to the likes of Nick Fuentes. Here's the other thing. I knew that this whole movement was actually real when she started pointing out and saying it in her own tweets. America first, America only. AFAO. She's been saying that in her tweets. And she's been saying it over and over again. America first. America first that. America first that. And we're hearing it from the likes of Nick Fuentes and other people that are leaning more towards the America First movement because people are turned off on how Trump has been handling things as of late. Now, I'm going to tell you this too. Trump has plenty of opportunities to swing that pendulum all the way back over to the side of him being a hero or being admired and loved again. That's just the talent that he has. right? He's good at spinning. He's good at throwing things back to be like, look, I'm doing great things for you guys. I'm awesome, right? But I don't know how long it's going to take for people to swing back and go, oh, I just love him. I just love Trump again, MAGA for life. But given the fact that one of his main other cheerleaders, Charlie Kirk, is no longer here, that's a massive deal. His main cheerleader, okay, cheerleader, she gone too. And there's other Republicans slowly but surely starting to step away from the MAGA movement as well. There are going to be MAGA loyalists. There are going to be diehards, like the likes of, let's just say, Ted Cruz. Okay? Just one I can think of right now. He is a MAGA loyalist. Ben Shapiro, MAGA loyalist. He will sit and stay with MAGA until MAGA does something extremely jacked up. Okay? But you got your loyalists. But now they're looking like the old guard. The new movement now is America First. And you're going to see that more and more as time goes on. Like I said, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm like some guru or like some political genius. I'm not. But I could tell what the streets are saying and how people are reacting. And she's already getting savvy to it. That's why she's making this move. Does she have to resign? No, she doesn't. But she's doing that for whatever reason she's doing it for. Let me tell you this too. This is the other thing I want to say too. When it comes to her sitting here going like, you know, all my family and people that I care about are all getting screwed over. Nothing's changing. The American dollar's dropping. You know, inflation's out of control. We're paying more taxes. Food is becoming more and more scarce. I can't stand for that. But here's the thing, though. That's why you are the representative. That's why you got elected into your position to help make those changes happen. So why step away? Literally, like, this is the only time I'm going to be nice to MTG. You sit there and you go, I want to make changes, but changes aren't happening. The changes happen that start with you. That's why you got elected into this position. But she's tired of running uphill. That's basically what it is. Is she going to pivot? Is she trying to figure out what that pivot is? But I think her resigning, that's not a good look for her, man. That's not a good look. If she's trying to run for office, or, hey, you never know. She might be like, you know what? All I want to do is make designer. I just want to be a YouTuber and just focus solely on designer gingerbread houses. That's all I want to do. Just designer Gucci and Louis Vuitton looking gingerbread houses. That's all I want to do. Just make videos. That's my passion. I like to bake. If that's what she wants to do, then bet. But if she has plans on coming back bigger and better, I don't think people are going to like the fact that she left damn near at the end of round 12. You see what I'm saying? She's quitting 50 feet away from the finish line, if that makes any sense. And I can see people getting turned off by this move here. But I said what I said. Let's move on.
I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID, and I did that as chair of the DOJ subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election. And I will.
She just said all the people that, woo-wee. Well, you got to understand that's real though. You know, for a fact, a lot of these guys that are on the Republican side are all just like smiling in his face, but then sneering as soon as he walks away. I guarantee you that. I mean, come on now. But I think that goes with any politician. Let's be real. Continuing.
I'll never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021. My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us. Through it all, I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing strongly against all involvement in foreign wars, and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative. America first should mean America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God who created everything in existence. You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility. My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of nonstop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never, ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is no plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country. And instead, the reality is that they common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
Okay. Okay, so I put up a poll up in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay. And I just basically said, what did I say? I don't even remember what I said. Do you think she's planning something bigger after this resignation? And you have two choices. Either it's hell yeah or nah, she's starting a podcast. So go up to the top of that and let me know your thoughts. Now, here's the thing. She did have a written statement, but that written statement is what she read in the video. Okay. So she read that entire 4-page statement in the video that we just watched, just so you guys know. All right. So again, a lot of people are reacting to this, which is totally understandable. I think a lot of people are very shocked about this information. She is resigning. It's very, very interesting stuff. Let's take a look at this.
Breaking news, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia announcing on social media that she will resign from Congress early next year after a weeks-long falling out with President Trump and much of her party. Now, Greene laid out her reasoning. She said, in part, I have too much self-respect and dignity, love my family way too much. Also, just checking on social media, she did post an announcement just coming in right now. I can put this up, and you can see right there on our screen there. She actually making that announcement. Her message to Georgia's 14th district and America. And she also had her official statement posted online, too. She says, I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C. and never fit in. She goes on to say Americans are used by the political industrial complex by both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other. Her statement goes on for quite a while. Again, she posted this message on her social media. Again, breaking news, Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia announcing she will resign from Congress.
I just think it's a bit abrupt. I just feel like this is a bit abrupt. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like something's going on here. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And maybe, Big Steve just said this too. And you may be right, Big Steve. She knows she can't go anywhere without Trump's endorsement. Maybe that's the case too. Maybe she's like, you know what? I won't be able to do a damn thing. My future here is dismal at best, which is kind of sad if you really think about it. It's a very messed up, it's like if you're not a part of the in crowd, then you have no place in the MAGA movement. It's almost like it's all a monolith. They all must think the same. They all must have the same opinions. They all must move in one. It's like Pluribus. Have you guys seen that Apple TV show called Pluribus? This is very much like Pluribus. Like they're all supposed to just act and move in the same way. They're all supposed to look the same way. They're all supposed to get Botox in the same way, filler in the same way, right? Smoky eyeliner like JD Vance. Supposed to have all these things. If not, you're not a part of the movement. You got to go. If you think outside of the group, if you think outside of the box, or if you think independently for yourself, that's a problem. You must be bowing down to the king, which is Trump. That's crazy. So again, like I said, her bowing out, her stepping away what the hell is this all about, right? What's really going on here? And you can't tell me it's the threats, because you know for a fact she's already gotten her fair share of threats for years. So this doesn't make any sense either, but we'll see. Let me hear the rest of this.
Early next year, after her fight with Trump, a weeks-long falling out with the president and much of her party, this happening just this coming week, Greene certainly laid out her reasoning, saying, she said in part, again, I have too much self-respect and dignity, love my family way too much. So this is obviously a developing story. She's announcing on her social media and also making a personal statement from her, looks like her living room, about why she's chosen this step and why she is resigning. We'll certainly continue to follow this. And if you recall, she certainly wanted the Epstein files released, and she and President Trump certainly had some words and obviously disagreements over that. So again, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia announcing on social media she will resign from Congress early next year. So
this is absolutely insane, absolutely unprecedented, and very, very surprising. Now, here's the thing. Does this mean something or does it not? That's the thing I want to know. Janobi, thank you so much. My 2025 bingo card is full. Yeah, man, mine is, listen, it's overfloweth. Okay. Oh, is that even an overfloweth? Okay. It's already done. The bingo card is already beat up. There's been so many, like, I didn't expect this on my bingo card too this year. Damn. Okay. Already jacked up. Let me just be real. Completely jacked up. But thank you for the super chat. Michelle Woods, thank you so much. You got 2 super chats, so I'm going to get to that. Bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Gots to go, please. Dang. Okay, again, Pascal, you're thinking of the song Running Up the Hill by Kate Bush. Yes, that's that song. Yes. Beautiful Messy Ball, thank you so much for the love. MGT isn't a career politician. She has a business degree and worked in construction business before entering Congress / politics only 5 years ago. So yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe she's like, I got better things to do than to deal with this. I got money to make and I got things to do and I don't need to be here. So I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. You know, it was a good run. It was fun. Now it's done. Now I'm done with it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the running around. I'm tired of trying to change things and things not changing. Everything remains the same. Everybody thinks the same. Everyone acts the same. It feels like, it almost seems like, to me, it's like grown summer camp, you know, like, you know, the Hill, going over to, going over there to the White House, going to DC, everybody that works in Congress and all that. It just feels like, you know, if you don't say the words and the talking points that we are all saying, you can't be cool. You can't be a part of the crew, you know? And it's unfortunate because it almost seems like that whole mentality, that whole like high school mentality type BS of like, oh, I got to be a part of the in crowd. So I got to say these things. But you know for a fact that rhetoric or their thought process and how they say things, how they approach things, a good portion, not all, but a good portion of them are going to change that rhetoric or change that tone as soon as Trump is out of office. Because MAGA is going to go with him. You really think that, okay, let's be real. You really think that MAGA is going to stay with the likes of somebody like J.D. Vance? No. Trump is MAGA. MAGA is Trump. It's his. Sure, they'll try to use it. And there'll be hats in there. But they'll be all old. Hats, tattered. Eventually, they'll start to wither away. And you'll only see a smattering of them. Because there'll be a new brand. There'll be another thing. You see what I'm saying? It'll be America first. Or it'll be something wild. Like, I don't know. Oil is slick. I don't know what the hell it is. What the next phrase is going to be. But they're going to try to find that thing that's gimmicky, that is marketable, that they can get these young Republicans and these young conservatives on that bandwagon. But I'm telling you right now, as soon as Trump walks away from office, MAGA's going with him. The brand, at least, is going with him. There will be somebody who will try to use that MAGA thing, but it won't stick. Wait for it. Happy days. Thank you so much for the love. She can go on a retreat, get some Botox for those horrible wrinkles, and join the Real Housewives of Washington, D.C. They like crazy. Yeah, I mean, she could definitely do, she get this. Listen, I'm sure she will get opportunities. She will get offers thrown at her feet. I'm sure of it. But you really think that she's going to just go away quietly? I doubt it. Wait for a book. Wait for a mother-loving podcast. Wait for an interview, an exclusive one, maybe on Tucker Carlson's show. Wait for that. Wait for that, because he's America first too. Remember, you got the likes of Candace Owens, which she would do great on Candace Owens because, you know, she is crazy like Candace Owens. So I wouldn't be surprised them both sitting down and having a very interesting conversation. But you got her, Candace Owens, you got Tucker Carlson, you definitely have Nick Fuentes if he's willing to do interviews. But I'm telling you right now, that dude, the things that come out of his mouth are so extreme. I'm even going to say it. There needs to be another Charlie Kirk that isn't Nick Fuentes. Because that kind of, the way he speaks, okay? The way he speaks and the racist information and the things that comes out of his mouth, that is not somebody that Trump or anyone near Trump should associate themselves with. Okay? In fact, I know that Trump has said, like, yeah, I know about him. And, you know, I don't really know the guy. I just met him at dinner one time, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? But this guy he's intense in the worst kind of way. If you speak in that kind of way and talk about other people, I mean, let me just say this. The guy will never run for office. He will never get a seat in office because of the things that he says freely on his show without hesitation. The things that come out of his mouth. If he was, and I don't think he ever has thought about running for office, but if he ever was to, he would never get the job. Why? All this stuff would be coming back to him. No one would vote for him for that. A good majority of the world is not going to vote for somebody who sits there and talks trash, saying slurs about the vice president's wife. Real talk. That's not going to fly. So J.D. Vance will run with MAGA for as long as he can until he realizes that MAGA is dying, that MAGA is a dinosaur, and he's going to have to figure out his own movement. But does he have the skill like Trump? No, he does not. I'm sorry. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Whether you like Trump or not, Trump's got skills. And he's got this natural talent. Sorry, but it's the truth. Okay? People like him. He has this charisma that people like. People are drawn to him. People like to hear what he has to say, even now with what the things that are coming out of his mouth. Okay? But at the same time, I just think that J.D. Vance is polished. But it's going to be interesting how he's going to do things with everything how the movement has been going. It's been getting very white. And I don't mean that to be rude, but that is facts. It's becoming very white. It's becoming very like, you know, your wife is Indian. How can you be, you know what I'm saying? Look at Vivek Ramaswamy. Remember him? I'm a Christian and you're not. How are you going to, you know, keep my Christian values in the forefront of your decisions when you are not a Christian, right? Same thing that they asked J.D. Vance a little bit ago. You're white. Your wife is Indian. You have an interracial and interfaith relationship going on here. You're a Christian and she's not. How are you going to be able to run the country if you were to be president? For us Republicans who are all Christians, Jesus died for the cross, died on the cross for us, just so you know. I'm just saying, how's he going to respond to that? How's he going to talk? Again, we got some very interesting things going on. Marjorie Taylor Greene just resigning is absolutely insane. Beautiful Messy Ball, thank you so much for the love. I think she will run for local office governor. She might do that. I could see that. I could definitely see that. We'll see what happens. But some people are going to feel some type of way about her resigning like this. And they won't vote for her because they're like, well, damn it, you're a quitter. You see what I'm saying? That's just kind of how I see it. I'm going to end this poll, though. So I asked, do you think she's planning on something bigger after this resignation? 68% of you guys said, hell yeah. I guess that's how the cookie crumbles. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. But I think this is absolutely nuck and futz what just went down. And yeah, I think there's something up her sleeve. What it is, I don't know what it is. But we're going to find out very soon. We're going to find out very, very soon. But it's very abrupt and it is very shocking. But guys, that is the show. Thank you so much for coming in, being a part of the conversation. It really does mean a lot. Make sure, because I might be back on very shortly because, I got to see about this thing. But I might be back on in a little bit because there's some breaking news that's been going on. So I want to make sure we talk about that here in just a little bit. But anyway, it is time to get going. But hit that like button down below. Crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you can. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that join button down below. Hit that like button down below. Set it to, hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live. Check out my Patreon. Of course, check out PascalMerch.com. And I'll be talking to you guys in a little bit, okay? It's time to get going. Much love to you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.